Hello everyone and welcome back to some more War in the East 2 as we are in turn 10 of our multiplayer game against Nick the Trojan. So we are playing the Axis forces here, and yeah, last turn was a relatively slow one, but with major successes at Kiev and east of Smolensk with 2 pockets wiped out. So man-wise, the Soviets took relatively heavy casualties last turn. Tank-wise, we stopped our tank forces for a bit of respite in east of Smolensk and in front or around Bryansk for the push towards Ural. So their tank losses in general were not as high as in previous turns, and we can already see that in the turn summary. Our losses last turn, not super high, 20,000 men, 152 guns, 81 tanks. And on the map, that ends in 21,000 men less, 336 guns less as we moved guns elsewhere. We got more tanks on the battlefield, as our losses got more than changed, especially as we moved a couple of Stuk formations into our frontline units. And we got a couple of planes extra on the battlefield as well. And that's where the Soviets took the heaviest toll compared to previous turns. 1,000 planes destroyed, but as they got a lot more men onto the battlefield, they got a couple more guns onto the battlefield, and they got 200 more tanks onto the battlefield, which is not good. Like, if we have a look to the graphs on the map, manpower-wise, we're still a good bit ahead, but it didn't dip here too much this turn. Here it shows that their guns still are dipping, but so are ours. We just have to keep the distance bigger. The biggest distance we had here, but afterwards they got a lot of guns from Eastern reinforcements. Since then we are increasing the gap a bit again. Armored fighting vehicles, they are supposedly down close to our numbers, but they went up a slight bit again. And we need to get that down below us. That's the goal. And aircraft-wise, it's still a big difference. They still have a lot more. It's going lower, but it's still an advantage for them. And we gotta see if we can change that with some air war. I already did the air maneuver turns again. And we also have a decent supply situation now in the north, with Tallinn having fallen last turn. Units get supplied out of there. Supply issues still in front of Smolensk and around it, as you can see here. And then especially in the south, especially here around Kiev. And then our southern push here, as they're getting supplied all the way from the port down here, as our railway is building up, but it hasn't been able to create a depot up here, because all of these towns are not great for depots. And Kiev, the railway hasn't not been constructed up there, so we are still getting out of Fastov our supply, and Fastov is not a great supply hub. So the southern supply situation is not great. The one in the other army groups has improved a bit. When we look at strength issues, a couple of our tank formations by now relatively under strength, below 65% readiness. Same down here. As you can see, our tank divisions, they're having some issues. In the north, everything's still fine. But down here, the Romanian tank division, for example, having some malfunctions as well. So that's gonna be a problem that we gotta solve. And whilst we do that, we have to push on here now. Yeah, recons will fly. We will have some air superiority missions going on, and so on. And then hopefully we can, for this turn, goal is to find a way through here towards Vyazma, to start moving towards Orel, to get closer towards Kharkov, and to get in front of or behind Dnepropetrovsk already this turn. The other side of the river here has been given up by our opponent, so we will be able to move on around here and cross the Dnepr. I didn't expect that, so he's not fighting there either. We will see if what his defensive line in the south will be. If he's just retreating out of here completely, or if he's actually trying to hold the entrance. I would expect him to try to hold the entrance to the Crimea at least. And oh yeah, let's see what he does with his units here. If he just retreats behind the Don and the Donetsk, like, that would be interesting. Or if he's actually trying to fight us here. And the Donetsk here, the Don coming down. Volga and Don getting really close to each other there. Let's see how all of this goes. As we first have to execute the air phase again and see what all of this brings to the battlefield. And what we can scout. So this time around, we have Saudis on the other side. Once more in really low numbers. All of our losses so far operational. And not even flak losses so far. Good amount of sorties for us. And now we see a bit more. Should be another phase where our aircraft will fly. There we go. So yeah, 11 losses, 12 losses, 13 losses. Operational losses means mostly airframe destroyed, or just worn down. And most of the time, not too high casualties in pilots, though some pilots still die in landing accidents and stuff like that, especially on the more rough airfields in the east. But it should not have we should not have too many casualties. So let's have a look on the picture after we've seen the recon reports. Okay, so heavy defenses towards Orel. 2-layered defense here towards Vyazma. A defensive line up here towards Rajev as well. This big defensive line here, we don't want to approach that. So yeah, I guess the northern front really will slow down, fall asleep. We still have to take these islands, and then we will see if we can do anything here, but there's really not much to do here. Like, what we potentially could do is threatening an attack north here, but that also puts us into a position where we could be attacked, and we don't want to overstretch our welcome here. Like, the defensive line we want to hold is here in the winter. And this defensive line that we are building up now. So, Army Group North, not too important there. Yeah, supply situation now that we have Veliki Luki here heavily improved. We will need to move up 16th Army to Veliki Luki to improve the efficiency of that supply hub. We also will have to continue construction of our rail over here. We have rail repair now at Daugava Pilz. We can directly build 2 now, or we could go south. No, we go south first, I think. Connect these rails here. Yeah, we have it soon. Yeah, we will now have a direct connection via good rail from down here at Vilnius up to Pskov. This rail repair will do a good job here as well. This rail line, these 2 good rail lines still not repaired in the rear. Is a bit frustrating. And we have another rail repair unit over here that can work on getting this rail line fixed. And then next turn, start to build up out of Smolensk towards... Oh, no, that we want to undo. That was not our planned move. Towards Vyazma. Smolensk. Self. Rail at 45% damage. Which is still a lot, but better than before. This division got refitted relatively nicely. Yeah, it's up to 86% potential TOE and 69% general TOE. So these 2 tank divisions, yeah, this one also up by a good bit again after their turn of rest back into way better shape. It should be relatively successful in helping us with an attack down here. But we're gonna start with Army Group North. So, as always, north to south. I'm gonna move on to the island here. to Oresar. This unit here. Potentially move east already. Just want to make sure that there's no nasty surprise on these islands. Army Group North potentially now could move on to Pskov. That's a good idea. Especially now that we have good rail into Pskov. Don't need to stay in Riga. Yeah, over here, no attacks possible. This unit has a relatively bad supply situation. The rail to Tallinn will need to be built up eventually as well, but it's not the focus. The focus is getting good supply into Veliky Luki, Smolensk. Over here towards Bryansk. Building up the supply situation here. Around Umencha. And getting good supply through here. Umencha could be built up to a depot. So that these units here get better supply as well. Decent rail junctions here, but they're not amazing. Yeah, this one at Oslavel had a lot of work to do. And the X is still relatively damaged, so more stuff to be done there. Really get these guys back into good supply. Yeah, that's a really important part. This unit here is a bit wasted. We don't really want to repair up here. Army Group Center somehow deciding to repair that rail hex. Yeah, not really worthwhile. I think we stay back here now. Novgorod can't really be broken. I don't think any of these hexes anymore can be broken anymore. I think both sides will now start to dig in up here. And we gotta consider just leaving our immobile divisions up here. I think the Spanish division will go up here as well. And we could potentially just move all of our tank forces onto the push onto Rzhev. Leave this division behind under one of the corps up here. Bring it under first corps. And then these two will go down towards the south of Pskov as well. And maybe one division, the Spanish division in reserve up here in the north. Or if an enemy attack comes, that we have a defensive line there where reserve division can help out. I'd say that's the base idea. It's the attack here in the north. As we won't get to Leningrad. Leningrad defenses are too strong. And yeah, here we want to at least get a bit further. But still staying within Army Group North. These divisions here. Okay. Unit is rather strong. Unit to the left, not so much. So we absolutely wiped that out. First good attack of the day. This formation needs to move up. Question is which one to attack here. Oh, that's 28 defense. And this is not. Okay. Good damage inflicted onto the enemy there. Here we can wipe out more their defenses. Guess this one is too strong as well. Yes, it is. No, they can't move there. Okay, you stay together then. . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . One can move forward. If you look at the hexes, this is solid terrain. That is rather well entrenched over there. Don't have any information about how that works. Yeah, that will be bloody fighting over here. This... Okay, we are slightly outgunning it, supposedly. But only slightly. We will need a heavy attack to take this out. We managed to do so with light losses. Good damage inflicted on the other side. But few forces to move on with. You to the rear. Eat that cavalry division. And then we can't move over the river. Okay, another good amount of casualties inflicted over here. Do we take this risky attack here? It's heavy forest. I think we rather take this one. Yeah, that was better. We took relatively heavy casualties in men, but we destroyed a good amount of guns and tanks there. And we pushed this unit out. If they move in there again, they will have trouble. This is a strong formation though. We gotta be careful there. At least no mobile forces. This here has a tank division inside. We can't attack it directly. And that's a problem. Our two tank divisions here getting ready again. Yes, no units here in front of us. Okay, here we go. That's where they retreated to. Yeah, these headquarter units will have to move up again. Unit can move here. These units are supposed to put south. All relatively well entrenched. On the front. This division able to do this attack though to widen the gap a bit, or not. Okay, it's now stronger than expected. Let's move on. We actually can do. Yeah, we can do that. Okay. This tank division has how much defense? 15. Okay, we have the potential push power to push through here. This is the best terrain. We have combined striking power there. Yeah, good attack. More important attack will be down south here. Unit will have to march into the gap. This division is actually relatively depleted. Effectiveness. Won't be taking part in any attacks this turn. Especially as its headquarter unit also got stuck back here. That stupid event last turn. Only 14 defense on that unit. Okay. Now tank divisions can roll in down here in the south again. This is a good target for them. Good. That was a great attack. 15,000 Soviets defeated, potentially. That was 1/4 of the casualties inflicted in that regard this turn. So far. And our other tank division can move through the gap. Motorized division will move up to follow it. This one, or these two, I believe will strike north. This defensive position. Oh! Oh! This might be another major... Yeah, this is another major success. Tank division breaking through as well. Minor success, but good casualties and a gap in the enemy defensive line that they don't want to have there. We need to move this infantry unit there. And this infantry unit actually moves in there. This one moves here. And then our tank division will move up north towards Vyazma. And we will have a major charge. These units against this hex. Is that actually overkill? It actually feels overkill. 13 defense. The 12th Panzer Division will not take part in this. Do it with everyone but the 12th. Oh, come on. And strike. Okay, good attack. So far, yes. Our investment into, or our time investment into keeping our tanks out of combat for a turn, actually, and giving them time to resupply, actually paid off here so far. Achieving breakthrough towards Vyazma, which should now be achieved, potentially, forcing him to retreat further here, giving up this defensive line. We have, so yeah, we have a good way towards Moscow here. We are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Well, let's count here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So 170 kilometers in front of Moscow, I think it is. I think it's 10 kilometer hexes. So, yeah, we're closing in there. We're closing in. Can you move one hex further? No. Okay. We have two major breakthroughs this turn here. We have relatively low casualties, both in tanks and in material. And inflicted another 100,000 casualties already. Two really good attacks. Really good job by our man and material. So, yeah. This went well. This goes into reserve against potential counterattacks. This one here needs refit. This one here needs to go into refit mode and be retreated for a turn or two. And yeah, we need to get this here up next turn. Smolensk doing a good job as a supply hub. And now let's see if we can have similar success around Bryansk. Okay, that's a rather strong force. This is not. Okay. Good attack there. Kinda want those guys gone. Good attack here as well. Supply situation here has improved a good bit. It's still not amazing, but Roslavel here giving supply to this from only a couple of hexes away is a lot better than what we had in a couple of turns before. Großdeutschland Motorized Regiment. You should be good enough on your own here. Yeah. How do we want to break through? Like, the best route would be through the light forest here. And seeing if we have a potential to encircle. We could potentially strike north and try to create a pocket here. As it seems like... Let's move here first. And see where the enemy defensive line is around here. Seems like they have retreated relatively far back. Enigov captured. A lot of the population is evacuated. Okay, stand with one unit here. So our strike south doesn't make much sense. And we want to inflict casualties. So strike north, actually, as that's also where he is the weakest. Like, he has good forces here. Would change our strategy. But would have him in fear of a pocket again here. So it would give him more time to defend Orel. Let's move on here first. Let's move on here first. Okay, supply situation here, or like, yeah, situation over here when it comes to moving forward is still rather iffy because of swamps. Second army. You guys move all south here. You could get up all the way here. And your headquarter will have to follow. To get you into a good attacking position. Against this unit down here. Ah, you can't. Okay. I mean, there's no river. Move up north. It's always a week. Each turn is a week. So we are 10 weeks into Operation Barbarossa. We're in August 24th to August 31st, 1941. And this is currently the situation on the front line. Good way into the Soviet Union, but obviously good bit still to take. And opposition that will only mount in efficiency and numbers. The decision is hard. The decision is hard. But if we push to a rail, we most likely won't have a chance of pocketing anything here. We then strike towards Kursk to the south. But I don't think we will pocket anything in the north either. I don't think we are fast enough for this. So the better idea might be to try to do a small pocket over here in that patch of forest by striking through here and striking north and trying to get a small pocket. I mean, I don't like, you always hunt down the big pockets because the first Minsk pocket and so on puts that picture into your head of massive salience, but our enemy obviously has shown that he is really versed in not getting himself pocketed, that he can do that really, really well and avoid any such disasters by giving up terrain in big quantities for it, though. So small pockets is, I think, what we should rather focus on, and for that we will have a look here what we can do. So I would say we still strike north, but only one hex, and then we try to pocket these units in this forest. This forest is hard to take, so let's see how it goes. You strike out there. You also strike then that one unit in this forest. Get it pushed back. This unit moves in here. Strikes that unit. Pushes it back. Okay, good. How strong is this unit? Not that strong. Okay. We want to widen the gap as much as possible for our tanks to strike through, not be hindered. Good attack here. The victory conditions for the Soviets at the beginning is to hold on. And then in either 1942 or 1943, depending on how quick it goes, the side who gets victory points changes, and then the goal of the Soviets is to gain more victory points than this Axis had at its highest mark. Yeah, and then they will be on the attack and push back and try to take the territory faster than historically and try to get to Berlin. So yeah, the victory condition first is survive, and then is take more than the Axis took, up until I think the end date is spring 1946, I think. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. So how many units do we have left that can do attack here? Actually, decent amount. Could potentially do this here. And we potentially could move this unit in there. It's a risky attack, though, that I just saw, and I kinda am triggered to do it. Oh god. Yeah, no. Okay, but our guys realized that quick enough, so we don't take heavy casualties. Okay. Okay, let's focus on this pocket. The infantry division goes in first. Tank division actually can't move that far, so it goes in here as well. And then these two, together with air support, try to flatten this. Okay, they achieve breakthrough. Under relatively heavy casualties, though. That this is not moving is highly frustrating. Okay, we are in here. We achieve victory there. So the northern pincer around is working so far. Move you up. Okay, that defense is rather strong. We have the third, yeah, we have this division rested last turn. And they are really back in shape. 100% combat readiness. So they're the formation to strike here next. No, this is the formation to strike there. And then the other tank division will try to move on. Ah! Pain. Utter pain. Okay, 3rd Panzer. Your time to shine. Neither tank division can move in there. You're all together and strike this though and hopefully wipe it out. Kinda. And then your move. Can you move there? No, you can't move there, but you can move here. Both of you can move there? Both of you can move there. Oh, how strong is this unit? We need a force attack to beat it. Okay, we can push it back. We also can beat this unit here, hopefully. No. It's stronger than expected. Yeah, no unit can move in there. So it's all down to you guys here. And to... Okay, this motorized division can move in here. This motorized division can move in there. Can anyone move into this hex? That's painful. This headquarter moves up there. Headquarter moves in there. His infantry division could move in there. Okay, we have another pocket of 3 infantry divisions. As I said, we go for the small pockets now. We have them. 4th August 1945, okay. Yes, it will. You can win in January 1941 if the Soviet 1945 is where I won my campaign as my single player campaign, as I was still holding all of the southern territory and the Soviet casualties were too high for them, and I got an auto victory in 1945. I'm not quite sure on what condition. It doesn't show you auto loss for the Soviets here, but I got a major Axis victory, I think, or minor Axis victory. One of these two in my single player campaign, where I was holding, like, it was a super... My single player campaign was a total mess. I messed up the south hardcore there, and at the winter I was only at Stalino, and I had still a weak line there in the single player, and the Soviets made a major counterattack. In my single player, I focused north first. I was in Leningrad, and I took Leningrad in early 1942. But the counterattack in the south, because my south was rather weak, broke in here and broke all the way down to Mariupol. And I had units here cut off, but I was able to reestablish connection with them. It was super close in early 1942. And then I had created a pocket with like 2 million Soviets inside, which then allowed me to deal with them and weakened the Soviets so hard that they then never could completely get a good offensive working again until 1944. But I was also stuck in Moscow here around Borodino and Stupino for like 3 years straight. Like the front line never moved. And then in late 1944, I moved closer to Moscow again and got into Moscow, I think, in the end as well. But it was a super grind against the AI. So yeah, but you can win in 1945 with the Axis as well. It was an absolute grind though, and in the end, obviously, I had to send more and more units to deal with the Western Allies and so on. And yeah, they were landed and had a good bit of the Western Front occupied there as well. Yeah, and exactly, they can win by slowing us down so that we don't have 525 points. They have an auto victory at that point as well. But we already have 486 points, and we still have till 1st of January to get the rest. And so I'm relatively optimistic that we will get there. Orel should fall relatively soon. Kursk will be falling soon. Like, his game plan is not achieving victory with this. That's not his goal. And I think that's wise, because I'm decently competent, I would say. So trying to force me into that loss would be really, really tough to achieve, and force him to play really risky with his forces, mount counteroffensives really early on, and so on. This unit. Yeah, we will try to pressure here as much as possible. Have a bit of a gap here in our lines. I'm not a major fan of that. You need to move here. But holding this hostage now is good. We have nothing here. Shit. That was a... Mistakes have been made. Shit. Any of you can still move up there? No, no. How far can you move with your 7? You move one back at least. But they can't cut us off completely. Really, you with your 4 movement points can't move 1 hex back? Arg. It shouldn't be completely disastrous, because we all still have the road from the south, but they potentially can strike in here now. Which they most likely will do, knowing him. This one will move here, so he at least can't push through this. And you split up. And one part of this division goes there. Yeah, that's what we should have done here with... you can move 1 hex back. Okay. Okay, that should make this safer. Like, he can still cut us off here. But he should not be able to hit this core, which we can move a bit further forward as well. And he should not be able to get all the way down south here. At least not under... Without... No, he doesn't have a tank division in here, does he? No, he doesn't. He doesn't have tank divisions here. It should not be too scary here. Okay. I have no idea about that 1.5 battle. Yeah. As I said, I have 1 single player game played through so far. I'm not an expert in this game. And yeah, if you guys have any major tips and so on, as long as you formulate them in a constructive manner and don't just tell me, oh, you suck. I know that I suck. You're absolutely welcome to tell me and help me out with my game plan, especially if you see any major flaws that I repeatedly do outside of leaving my horse behind. I know about that part. That's so far so good. 6th army will be now on its way towards Krakow. To this plain here. A supply situation here. Not amazing. Now we split up this core too far. Okay. I think the southern route here is the better route though. There's no direct road here, so... You're relatively exhausted. And well, no, actually. Yeah, it's only the combat readiness that is low. It's not the division itself that is low. So we will move you over here. Yeah, we maybe should have moved this supply unit up. But the south needs the supply more importantly than this, so... And we have this rail repair up to Gormel soon, so that should help out with this army group as well. But But I expected there to be better rail hubs down here. I guess we will have to use this one this turn as a new hub. Only a rail 1 hub level 1. This is also a rail 1 hub level 1. I guess Kremenchuk was level 1 as well. Okay. So yeah, the next good rail hub down here is Alexandria, also only 1. So Dnepropetrovsk, I guess, is the next good level of rail. It's really good. That's a really, really good rail hub. But we have to get all the way up there. And we won't achieve that this turn. Oh, nope, that was one too far. So this one was heavily damaged, right? I had 91 damage, and this one was relatively lightly damaged. Still damaged it is, but it's our next rail hub. This one is relatively lightly damaged as well, so yeah, let's build depots on both of these. Okay. You guys strike east here. Like my goal was to strike here, this direct line basically at Dnepropetrovsk, or like south of this river, and then to Mariupol, and try to create a pocket here. Question is if there will be any. If he, it seems like he retreats even further east. Like I thought he would maybe do a stand on the Dnepr, but as he has given up east of Kherson already, and he gives us this river crossing completely for free now, which I didn't expect at all. I'm not sure how effective that will be. Like he's really giving us way more terrain than I expected. And I'm wondering if he has a big counterattack plan with this, or what the idea here is behind of all of this. This unit moves south of Kharkov. Yeah, south of Kharkov. Goal of 18th Army, no, 17th Army it is, right? Yeah, 17th Army, 18th Army is in the north, is to get this around the Donetsk, holding this front line, allowing 1st Panzer Army and 11th Army to strike south then towards Krasnodar and Maikop. Yeah, I think we did a good job resting here last turn and allowing us this breakthrough this turn. I think that was the right choice. Same here. Not attacking last turn was the right choice. It gives us a small pocket. Yeah. Here we still want to strike east. Like as long as we have free room, we're gonna take it. Combat readiness of our forces currently relatively low here, but so far the successes here have been relatively good. And every hex we take this turn is a hex where we can move easier through next turn. So you're already under Army Group South. 6th Army by now is full. 17th Army is not, okay. And you become part of 17th Army now. 4th Corps is your family now. Yeah, I know. I know about the first winter. The advantage of my opponent is he has played multiplayer games before. His major disadvantage is all his multiplayer games so far ended relatively early on in the war. Like none went further than January 1942 because either his opponent bailed out or one side surrendered. And so me having seen the end of the war is my major advantage, and having seen how carnage is in winter and so on. Like, that's my major advantage, whilst he knows how multiplayer's game goes, whilst I don't have any knowledge about that, so that's his major advantage. Which I kind of like, that we have both some advantages in that regard, and that, but we both still are rather inexperienced, which also reflects, obviously, the situation in the war rather nicely. Wait, is there a river? Yeah, there's a river. There's a river, right? Yeah, there's a river. I kind of want to attack there, but I think it's a stupid idea. I think I should just move on. Yeah, we just move on. Not a good attack. And we need to protect the flank. That's our goal here. These units will move on further. And then we can have a better strike next turn here. He's already at entrenchment level 1. He won't get up all the way to 2, I think, next turn, so that shouldn't be a difference. Okay. Motorized, the first Slovakian motorized division. Our firefighter force here for the 17th Army. We'll move over here. I have Stuk battalions moved to the front line. I don't think I used them in divisions at the moment. Where have these Stuk battalions arrived? Yeah, they have arrived as support of our 2nd Panzer Corps here mostly, I think. As we put that up to support level 4. Yeah, a good amount of self-propelled guns have arrived here. The other Stuk battalion, yeah, also there. Yeah, all the Stuk battalions have actually arrived in this motorized corps, which is actually the infantry corps here, lol. Maybe not the absolute perfect one, but I mean, this is, yeah. So we haven't put Stuk battalions in infantry. In the Army Group North, this is our situation at the moment. We try to entrench here, try to build up fort levels, and dig up at the Nava. We're not gonna push onto Leningrad. We pulled forces south of, like, the 4th Panzer Group is now moving here towards Rzhev, supporting Army Group Center, so that Army Group Center can support Army Group South indirectly, with having Panzer Group 2 bits further south taking care of Orel and Kursk, so that Panzer Group 1 can fully focus on the southern strike, whilst there's still pressure on Kharkov and Kursk by tank. We're not gonna push onto Moscow. Goal is to hold the Rzhev, Vyazma, Orel line, basically. Maybe including Kaluga, maybe holding the Oka River here. Maybe not, like, yeah, maybe on the other side of Kaluga here, Vyazma, this river. This would be the goal. Tula, not really worth it. Moscow, impossible. Yeah. Absolute dream would be Maikop this year. If not, Maikop early next year. And then hopefully the Caucasus fully early next year. Into the reserve? What do you mean? Like, yeah, for winter, I guess you mean. Like, obviously at the moment we need our... Or what do you mean with reserve? These divisions move on around here. Doctor of theirs is in a fine position as well. Okay, so defending our flank, so now we can move on. Yes, yes, yes. Yeah, we will try to keep our infantry on the front line and keep the tanks on the defense as much as possible. Okay. 10 defense, supposedly. Intel by now gets a bit better again as we have more airplanes out. And that can fly again, as our supplies have caught up a bit with us. Our advance has slowed down. Still not going to be easy here, though. Do we use the Hungarian formation? I think the Hungarian formation can be used here. And we activate air support. We charge in here. They held. Catastrophe. Ooh. Okay, we have to outflank them in the north, I guess. These two divisions can't get... No, the infantry division can't get there in shape. Tank division can get there in shape. At least outflank it in the north, please. Yes, okay. How well can you guys get in there? You guys can get in there relatively well. Oh, in a dream world, we would be able to break through on both sides here. What do we have here, and how well can you get in there? You actually can go in there relatively well. Okay, then we try to pocket these 3 divisions. What is his plan here? Like let's have a look on what he has here down here in the south. If we go all out for pushing through here and trying to achieve the major pocket that we plan, or if that is a fever dream that we won't be achieving because he's just moved everything away. Like, how strong is he here? Oh, he has solid forces around here. Does he have more? Okay, he's still holding a line here. Okay, okay. So our idea of charging through here and pushing down here to Ospionnek or Mariupol, I think should still be favored. And that means we don't push in here, we push up north. Okay. Kind of means we want to break this position, though. With its 13 defenses. As it's blocking our way forward. Which is highly frustrating. Move all of you back. Move you 2 in there. Together with this Panzer division, and then we try again. This time we pushed it back, but under relatively heavy casualties. This here should be an easy attack. Yes. all of these could move on. What could we move into this hex? Division, potentially. Like, let's move them in one by one. Okay, you still can move into this hex. Okay, that means we will be able to keep that line behind us here. Not really worth it. No, actually, yeah, worth it. And then the tank division. This should be a rather easy attack down south. Like, we want to get this hex for sure clear. No. Yeah, there's no such thing as easy attacks anymore. And we can't do force attacks anymore. So we don't have enough activation points for that. So we have to do normal attacks, which are always more prone to failure. Okay, at least here that works out. Fire support heavily used for this turn. Our Hungarian divisions will try to lock them down here. Together with this infantry division. So our tanks can move around next turn, hopefully. This infantry division locks them down there. Do they still hold the other side of the river here? Yes, they do. A force that can be overwhelmed this time, though. Okay. They retreated down south. The Italians have arrived. Do we rest the Romanian armored division for a turn? As I don't think we will have any attack next turn with it, and everything here is slowed down anyways. I think we will rest the Romanian armored division here for a turn, as we have with Kherson a port now that can hopefully get port supplies in soon. Damage here needs to be repaired. Repair teams. Ah, that is already in Odessa, but Odessa I think should be relatively fixed up by now, right? But okay, and it's behind the front so far that it doesn't make sense to keep it up there. So, yeah, we keep these guys in reserve mode. They don't have the striking power we need out of them. It's obviously a Romanian armored division, but they have less striking power than a Romanian cavalry brigade at the moment. So charging on with them is not making any sense. Okay, the next river is where they have created the next defensive line here, seemingly. We will need a couple of German divisions, so that's what this corps is for. The 54th Corps. That's what their job is. Who's their general? General Eric Hansen. Decent. Not great, but decent general. And if you compare his stats to Romanian one, like 2 more in infantry, 2 more in initiative, 1 more in admin. So, good bit better than these corps leaders. Yeah, 1 more. Like, they are decent. The Romanians are relatively on par with what the Soviets have at the moment. Mostly, but obviously we want better than the Soviets to be able to mount an offensive. Fourth Romanian army can move up a bit. Okay. The Italians can move up to Kherson. West Division gets refit there, so leaves one behind. Then this Romanian rail repair unit can do its job. Division keeps moving south as well. You can't repair here? Oh god. Okay. We crossed the Dnieper in the south as well now, in good force. So, yeah, it's not the border, like, it's not the defensive line that I expected out of him here. That's for sure. Now let's cross here. Actually, let's cross with you here in the south as well. Hungarian security forces move up. Yeah, they have no major supply importance. First Panzer Group can help out with supply situations over here. 17th Army will move here. 6th Army stays up there in the north. Both of you can move on to Vinica. Interesting situation. Potentially could do another attack here in the enemy rear. Come on, let's try it. Okay, this time it worked. And we cleared attacks. We made movement for him here harder. Potentially easier for us next turn. Supply situation down here, relatively decent. Oh, we could even move this division in there. It's only brigade though. No. It would be like, yeah, no, that would be crushed. We can't move that alone. We can't move that alone. It's nice to have, but it's not something we can just move in there when he has major forces in Dnepropetrovsk and around. It would just get crushed with a surrounded attack. And it's better to keep it next here to the tank division. Support. Cool. This core didn't go up. Yeah, somehow here I forget the most often to move our course forward. But I think we're through with the turn again. Next turn we will get good reinforcements in form of the blue division. We now have our Stuk, we now have our Berberkleit battalion in here as well. They all went into this core, didn't they? Rocket, heavy warfare. No, wait, which? Oh, this core here, this motorized core got the Berberkleit infantry battalion, which is a solid support force with Panzer IIs, T-34s, some STKFZs. Yeah, a lot of forces now assigned to these. We took away some support units from Army Group North and from 6th Army, I think, as well. I remember correctly. No, not from 6th Army. At least not on the core level. Could potentially reduce this here by 1 as well. 6th Army currently is in just catch-up mode. But Can have some more support for these units up here. And these units up here, which are also on for level 4 now. But yeah, the Panzer Corps down here, that is on support 4 as well. As you can see, got a lot of more, got 4 artillery battalions attached now, which means that they will help out with better attacks. This motorized corps needs to go up to 4 as well, so that these guys, the divisions have access to even more support and fight even better. Like, that's why they often do better than it looks, because they actually work better because of it. This motorized corps we now have on support level 4, not 5. 5 is doing a bit over. Yeah, this 4 as well. And then these should get the ones that are taken away from 6, move it, and they will be moved there, so that these units can work better with it. So yeah, I guess this is turn. This is turn number 10. I think these remaining units will come in 4 turns. No, not this one, but these here, right? Yeah, in 4 turns we will get some more Romanians. We will getting some Panzer divisions in turn 12. 2 more Panzer divisions arriving on the map. We will have a motorized brigade moved from the map into garrison. 2 motorized brigades, but that is fine. Trading 2 brigades for 2 divisions, absolutely fine by me. So yeah, as the 5th Panzer Division will come in with 211 tanks of rather good equipment level, like a lot of Panzer 3s, not so many Panzer 2s anymore. A couple of Panzer 1Bs still, but a lot of Panzer 3s, good amount of Panzer 4s. So yeah, high level of veterancy as well, like really high level of experience on this division. 5th Panzer, really high quality, and 2nd Panzer of similar quality. Their recon part not quite as heavy in experience level, but the rest here, the mortars and the infantry squadrons, the Panzer Grenadiers, really good level. And they also have a lot of Panzer 3 Js. So yeah, 2nd and 5th Panzer of gonna be really, really helpful here. Yeah, in turn 16, some units will be renamed. The light division will be become a mountain division. And the 1st Cavalry Division will become 24th Panzer Division, which will give us another Panzer Division, as they also will then get a Panzer layout in turn 23, that is, in November. So yeah, currently this Cavalry Division in front of Bryansk helping out as a cavalry division, but 24th Panzer doesn't sound too bad either. So yeah, hopefully all of this going to improve soon. Yeah, with that said, this is the turn. And then we gotta check if we did all the supplied stuff I wanted, but here we only repaired up north. Here we already have the supply dump where we need to move in yeah, let's move in this army here. Increase the situation there. And where is... Oh, you're all the way back here still. You can actually move up here to improve the supply situation in Roslavel. These guys can't stay in Smolensk for now. Veleky Luki with 17th and 4th Panzer Group, fine as well. I feel like we want to move these guys south. I thought about it. I think it makes sense. Now that we have the supply in Veleky Luki. And that the Army Group North really doesn't have any chance of achieving anything majorly. With the Spanish arriving here next turn, this should be in good shape. anyways, and then we keep fourth Panzer group together and keep it pushing towards Rzhev. What we want to do here is keep up a defensive line that is something that we can hold. Keep the swamps to the east. Yeah. Yeah, the Spanish will go up here and be the reserve for this. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 divisions to hold a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 or 9 hex gap. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, so 8 divisions for an 8-sized gap. Pretty solid as well. Just need to entrench here then. For now, we keep as much terrain as possible because every hex we take, every town we take is some manpower that he doesn't get now. And every hex we take at the moment is a hex that he will have to move through with movement penalties and exhaustion penalties. So yeah, keeping him away as far away as possible before we move in back here, I guess in October, November, to get ourselves entrenched in front of Pskov. Is what we go for. Weather next turn finally is going to improve again. Like, after being super unlucky with the weather, we finally get a bit of clearness for a couple more turns before then the real rain season starts, which in the humid cold area, which I think we are not really fighting in. But climate zone, humid cold, yeah, no, that's the Finnish. That's up here. So we're not really fighting in that terrain. But yeah, there's already the rain season starts, and in the normal humid area, and which is here, and then the humid warm, I guess is what this is. No, this is humid warm. This is just humid. Not quite sure. I guess this is a mixed terrain. Yeah, in the humid area, we actually have the supposed rain coming in mid of September, where we already had 3-4 weeks of solid rain now, which is highly unfortunate. But at least here now it's already stopped raining, and here it will stop raining next season, next turn as well. And that it rained up here actually was not too bad, giving us defensive modifiers here on our light mud, making it harder for him to attack. So yeah, we end the turn here, and gonna give it over to our opponent. So see you next turn with Steel Division 2, with one of these two. Well, so yeah, all you Steel Division guys, we're gonna go in there in a minute. This turn took way longer than I expected. Yeah, gonna go in here after a short break with some Steel Division 2.